Welcome, deities, to a Smite 2 God Guide for Ares, the God of War. Ares' key features are magical damage, melee autos, hybrid scaling, high defense, strong lockdown, and team buffs. Ares' passive ability, Blessed Armaments. Ares radiates an aura around him, granting himself and allies strength, scaling from his protections from items, as well as intelligence, scaling from his cooldown rate. Allies only gain 50% of this buff. Ares' first ability, Shackles. Fires a shackle projectile that deals damage and slows. Shackles can be refired after hitting an enemy god. Quick note that the duration to refire is shown by this indicator around the ability, and that hitting a target with multiple chains will reset the damage duration instead of adding to it. You can only fire 3 shackles at once, but each shackle can hit a separate target. Gain movement speed for each shackled god. Shackled gods take damage over time and are crippled. This projectile stops on first god hit, deals damage to all enemies, and goes through walls. The first instance of damage scales off of your strength, while the damage over time while chained scales from your intelligence. Ares' second ability, Call to Arms. You and nearby allies gain protections and basic attack damage for 6 seconds. Damaging an enemy god 3 times extends this buff by 4 seconds. Ares' third ability, Searing Flesh. Flames pour from your shield, dealing damage over time in front of you. This is a channeled ability, but you may cast shackles during this ability. This ability deals bonus damage based on the enemy's maximum health. You are displacement immune while channeling. This ability scales off of your intelligence and the enemy's maximum health. Ares' ultimate ability, No Escape. Attack a chain to nearby enemy gods that deal magical damage, then pull them towards you and land, dealing damage and stunning enemies in the area. You are CC immune and gain damage mitigations during this ability. This ability scales with strength. Here is going to be a basic support build for Ares. We're going to start off with War Flag if we can get away with it. Buffing our teammates is the name of the game. If we can get away with War Flag, if they don't have a lot of CC, we will go War Flag. If we have to, if they have a lot of crowd control, then build Selflessness. It's fine, okay? First item is Prophetic Cloak. Gives both physical and magical protections and cooldown rate. The passive gives you even more protections, and all of those stats will feed into your passive. Second item here is Support is very situational. If your enemies have a lot of anti-heal, it is very recommended to build Ruinous Ankh. Ruinous Ankh is a great item. It gives a ton of protections and an aura of reduced healing in an area around you. If you don't need Ruinous Ankh, we are going to go Phoenix Feather. Phoenix Feather has 65 magical protections, one of the highest magical protection items in the game, 275 max health, and an active that will heal you for 300 HP plus 30% of your missing HP. With how engagement heavy your character is and having no escape, having that burst heal is going to come in handy to keep you alive. Third item we have built for this build is the Eye of Providence. It gives 50 total protections, 25 of each, 300 maximum health, and though I know these are beginner builds, so I try to keep the active items low, this one is just a ward, so you don't have to worry about using it in combat or anything like that. This active creates a ward that reveals enemies and enemy wards. It lasts for 120 seconds or until killed, as well as has a larger radius than a normal ward. The fourth item in the build, Spirit Robe. Gives 30 physical protections and 30 magical protections, as well as a passive that when hit by a hard crowd control effect, you gain 40 physical protections and 40 magical protections. Since those protections technically come from items, when you are hit with a hard crowd control, those protections also affect your passive. Our fifth item, Leviathan's Hide, is going to be a heavy defensive item. 30 physical protections as well as 300 maximum health. The passive. Enemies who hit you with basic attacks lose 10% strength for 4 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. With the heavy initiation focus of this kit, having strong protection items like Leviathan's Hide are essential. Last item, we went with a luxury item in Shifter Shield, granting 20 physical protections, 20 magical protections, 150 max health, and the passive that will give you extra strength and intelligence while over 75% HP, and will give you increased protections while under 75% health. Support builds are very malleable and very determined by the enemy team composition. Second item, if the enemy has a lot of crowd control as well as going selflessness, I suggest going Talisman of Purification. Given your supportive nature and the fact that you have no dash or leap, gaining crowd control immunity without having to expend your ult could be the difference between winning or losing a team fight. As for active items, Blink is obviously a staple on Ares. Blinking and then using your ultimate on a group of enemies is the quickest way to turn around a team fight. However, Phantom Shell is always an option if you need more team survivability. I would not recommend getting beads, though you don't have a dash. You are the support, and if you feel as though you need beads, please get Talisman of Purification. It has the same cooldown as beads and works on your team. This has been a guide for Ares, the god of war. If you learned anything, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. I hope to see you all on the battlefield of the gods.